to the flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Trombley.
Here.
Trustee Malinsky.
Here.
Trustee Connor.
Here.
Trustee Herzog.
Here.
Mayor McFetrich.
Here. I may have a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
So moved.
And a second? Second. Any corrections? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Presentation of petitions, communications, and general question period for members of the community. We just have our local friendly reporter here today. Do you want to say anything?
Press roll.
Some community news.
Thanks for being here, Talia. Report from the Codes Enforcement Officer. Chris's report is included. Don't know if anyone has any questions on any of it. He's been busy on many fronts since he works in 3 and sometimes 4 different municipalities.
Does he work with Rouse's Point as well?
He doesn't by contract, but he was called in due to the issue that was going on there, and then got involved with that.
When he talks about burn permits, he's talking about the fire pits, the
Yeah,
little
he's
fire
talking
cut,
about
yeah.
the recreational.
Well, that's what I
pits, yeah.
thought, but
I know, it does sound a little misleading. Any questions at all? All right. My report. Good evening and welcome to the village board meeting. We're busy with summer projects and have several events scheduled. There will be 2 concerts in Bill Earl Park along River Street. The Taylor LaValle Band will perform on July 31st at 6:30, and we have a food truck coming, and they're going to bring a generator.
That wasn't correct, was it 50, yeah?
Well, I don't
she's at 50.
know, but anyway, they're bringing a generator, so we don't have to worry about it since we couldn't do it anyway. I don't know. And the Busco Bandits will play on August 19th. Also, the Farmers Market began last Saturday and will run every Saturday from 9 until noon. Stop by to support our local vendors. The new children's outdoor classroom and garden is nearly complete. The raised beds have been planted and seating will be installed soon. And we will be announcing events on the Champlain Kids Connected Facebook page. Also, thanks to Manny and Sheila Kupal, who donated a small section of land near Central Nutrition. This will be a pocket park with a few chairs and space to gather when space to gather will be available. This is a work in progress. It'll be pretty slow, I'm sure. It's a lot of work. And suggestions are welcome to make this an inviting area. I believe I'm correct in saying that flushing will be next week, more or less, maybe.
Should have started this week, but yeah, this week or next week.
Okay. And this means that you may see some discoloration in your water. Let me remind you that if you have a complaint or a concern regarding water or any other village services for that matter, that you call the village office. We're here to help you and we'll respond. Often people complain on social media without letting us know. This generates lots of comments, many negative comments, and it doesn't usually solve the problem. Often much misinformation is spread. I hope everyone has an enjoyable summer and that you are able to participate in the village activities. Thank you. Report from the trustees. Kim?
The only thing that I have is the water board's still plugging away. We're meeting next week. I want to thank Mary, Juanita, and Sarah from the town for their all the reports that they give us and in getting the information out. That's been going along well, seeing as it's now going out to everybody, not just coming to me. everyone's receiving it at the same time. Joe has been, given the information regarding, Joe Ashline regarding the EDU, number. We only have, it looks like one change, but he'll do his due diligence and go through it, but it looks like we only had, one change, so I don't even know if that's gonna make much of a difference on the
Probably
village's
not.
side. I have not received the town's EDU report, so I will be reaching out to the supervisor, asking for that. And then we'll be starting to work on the upcoming report. I do wanna make a couple of changes in the report. I'd like to condense some of it after, if approved by the water board. It's a very lengthy report, and I'd like to try to condense it a little bit more, seeing as I can't even send it to the girls in the office, cause it's so big.
Yeah,
So I wanna try to do a little more condensing.
sounds like a good plan.
That's what I'm thinking,
Yeah.
so.
Great, thank you. Nikki?
Okay, so our first Children's Garden Club event went well. We had 7 children and 4 parents participate. We planted herbs, vegetables, and sunflowers, which hopefully will make a nice little sunflower room between the boxes. Our next, I'm planning on July 23rd at 10 a.m. and we will get together and paint on the side of the raised boxes and put up a sign stating that it's a children's garden area. And we'll talk more about future events and planning. We do wanna put in a perennial garden in the back corner, and I also am working on a grant for a pollinator garden for $500. That'll be due Friday, so it's almost done. The geocaching intro in Rouse's Point was not as well attended as I had hoped. It was raining that night, so I didn't expect too many, but I did have 3 attendees.
Okay.
One who had never heard about geocaching until showing up. Someone had dragged her along, and we had her do a little hunt, so she was able to find one. I do have another date set up, July 17th at 10 a.m. at the Bob Venn Park, and we'll walk the trail. This week at the library, the 13th, Wednesday at 1 o'clock, we're doing a rock painting. The 20th, next week, we'll do an ocean collage, same time, 1 o'clock. And I have one event set up August 17th for Sandar. I am also in contact with a Fish and Wildlife, I don't know their title, from
Is it through DEC?
it's someone that works at the border, so I don't know if it's in the agriculture area
Oh,
or
okay.
whatnot, but she is more than willing to come down and talk about fish and wildlife in our area. So we're working on a date for her at the library. And then we also have coming up at the library for seniors ages 55 and up. It's a free workshop, and it is a hands-on workshop having to do with Google Photos and backing that up. Removing them from your smartphone and putting them into the Google Cloud online. So if you're interested in that, it is the 10:30 on the 21st, and just contact the library to register. Saturday, this coming Saturday, the 16th, from 9 to noon is the farmer's market. And I'm encouraging kids to attend to make and sell their products. Last year, we had quite a few families join the 2 dates. We had one in July and one in August, and we're doing that again this year. And yes, I have a food truck lined up for the concert at the end of the month, so hopefully that
Thank you
goes well.
so much for doing that.
No problem, they're excited to come, and they're brand new. I'm assuming just this year. It's a local family from Morris, so it'll be exciting. Burgers, french fries, hot dogs, and pulled pork. That's all I have for now.
The fun runs.
Oh, yes, so.
I didn't mention,
Well,
I
you
didn't say
did
much,
mention it.
I didn't say too much about it.
We
I
did
don't
start
know.
the fun run, so it's every other Sunday for 4 dates we have set up, and the information is on my Kids Connected page. We didn't even count how many.
I think it was 18.
Yeah, say just about 20 children participated this week. So we have some fast kids in our area.
Mhm.
And yeah, in 2 weeks, we'll have our second one, 5 o'clock. And planning for Village Fest is going on too, so.
Great. Thanks, Nikki.
Yes.
Could you explain what geocaching is?
Geocaching is a large-scale scavenger hunt.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, so you use a GPS where someone has placed, it can be the smallest little container to a bigger container. And inside is usually a logbook, so you would write your name and date when you find it. The website is geocaching.com, and there's an app on your phone that you can use to help navigate to it. And you just find the item and you place it back where it was, you don't take it. But it's pretty fun.
Cool.
During COVID, we did so many trips out, because, there's not much to do, and you can do that on your own.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing, you could do like a Halloween event or something, like an Easter egg hunt or something like
Oh,
that,
yeah.
that would be fun.
That would be fun,
Yeah.
yeah. Chuck?
First off, I wanna thank, Janet and our code officer for reacting quickly to an event last Friday. And, they did a good job of initiating a lot of things to get going. Second of all, there's still room in the community garden for people to plant, and it's not too late, so if people are interested, they could maybe stop by the village and say they want to get a plot and go from there. That's about all I have for right now.
Thank you. Joel?
I just wanted to apologize for not being here last week. I felt bad about it. I mean, I showed up here on Tuesday, and I don't know why I had the thought in my head of, was like, oh, the meetings are always on every other Tuesday, and so I'm gonna show up, and I was here early, and I felt great, and time continued to go on. It was 6:30 and 6:45, and I'm like, wow, everyone's running late. And then I looked at the agenda, and it had the day before, and I'm like, oh, that can't be right. And I said, well, good thing Mary sends me emails and reminds me of every time the meetings are, and I looked at it and I was like, wait, that can't be right either. So, I'm sad that I missed that one, because those were topics I was interested in, so hopefully we get to those today, the dog park and things, or not the dog park, but the dog control, things like that. But in other news, I was looking through the AARP, age-friendly communities. And then with that, I was looking at the village website and different things. I was trying to find village Facebook, Twitter, and things like that. So I'm interested in I don't know who manages the website, or if anyone manages the website, or if there's anything with that, but if I could try and do something or get involved in some way of doing something with the website, that way we can make like a more public image online of the village, that way people can find it. Because that was one of the things in the application that they were looking for, so I'll keep my ear to the ground, and I think, I'm sure Mary could help me.
Yes, yeah, that'd be great. That kind of help is always appreciated.
Beautiful.
All right, report from the clerk treasurer.
Everyone has their expense and revenue reports for June. Not much to look at, it's our first month.
There's a water sewer billing, says on.
Yep, I'm getting there. We had a water and sewer billing, the water in the amount of $60,391.75, and sewer was $64,489.09. We also have our warrant. Are we ready for that?
Sure.
We have additional invoices of $13,869.45 for a total warrant of $25,457.11.
May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Discussion, questions?
I just had a question.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was just the email of the layer 8, that seems like, I feel like I've seen this multiple times. How many emails do we have? Because I looked through the email list You have one?
Everybody
Mayor
has one.
We all
Everyone
have
has
one.
one?
Everyone has one.
How do we take advantage of those? I mean, if we're paying for them, we might as well all use them, I suppose.
We can get you set up for doing it.
Yeah, and technically, legally, that is really what you should be using for any kind of village, business. Correspondence, you know, if you reach out to somebody on behalf of the village for whatever, that's really the one you should be using. Any other questions on any,
Yeah, I had a second. There's only one listed here.
The one's on the other, on the original warrant.
Oh, done, okay. Gotcha.
yeah, oh yes, there you go.
Yes, cause
I
that
didn't go
came
through
in,
them.
yeah, it came in
Came in
after
after.
you, after, she did the warrant.
Alright. Sounds good.
Do you wanna approve the warrant and then do the transfer?
Yeah, let's do that,
Okay.
so roll call.
Trustee Trombley,
Aye.
trustee Malinsky,
Aye.
trustee Connor,
Aye.
trustee Herzog,
Aye.
Mayor McFetrich.
Aye.
We also have to make a transfer from G 8130.2 to G 90, or that's sewer equipment, to G 9730.7, which is BAN, the bond anticipation note for interest for $12,000.
May I have a motion for that, please?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Any questions on that? All right, roll call.
Trustee Trombley,
Aye.
trustee Malinsky,
Aye.
trustee Connor,
Aye.
trustee Herzog,
Aye.
Mayor McFetrich.
Aye.
We also have to, two bills to pay out of the projects. One's the wastewater treatment plant, for $10,864.25. Do we do them separate or just
Yeah, we
together?
do them separately.
Okay.
So a motion for that, please,
So moved.
and a second.
Second.
Any questions on that? That's engineering.
Yeah.
All right, roll call.
Trustee Trombley,
Aye.
trustee Malinsky,
Aye.
trustee Connor,
Aye.
trustee Herzog,
Aye.
Mayor McFetrich.
Aye.
And we also have one out of the water line replacement project for $8,390.70.
We have a motion for that,
So moved.
and a second.
Second.
Any discussion?
That's for
Engineering for the
Engineering.
water project. Yeah, and we'll be having these every month as this,
Well, the money's getting down there, so.
well, hopefully,
Well, we're
I
gonna
mean,
get the
hopefully the
long-term
funding,
funding.
the funding
Yeah.
should be coming in.
Yeah.
The loan for the water and the money for the wastewater, both of them should be coming in. Should, we'll see. Roll call, please.
Trustee Trombley,
Aye.
trustee Malinsky,
Aye.
trustee Connor, trustee Herzog,
Aye.
Mayor McFetrich.
Aye. Is that it for?
That's it.
That's it, all right. Report from the superintendent.
Well, we've stayed pretty busy. We had one water leak on Church Street, 58 Church we took care of. Did some curb box rod replacements, we rotted off in the ground today, we still got a few more to do. This month we had two, actually three, I got one more to do, we just found out. PRV pressure reducers that have failed, that we had to go out and repair for homeowners. We did the monthly water readings. We've been out most of last week and we're still working on it, but cleaning valve boxes and trimming, getting ready for hydrant flushing. And we've got hydrants in all over, but especially in the town side that aren't, we've got 5-foot high well parsnip around them. So we've been out trying to get things cleaned up so we can get to the hydrants that flush. The windshield was replaced, on the equipment side on the pickup and the loader, those are both have been completed. It was right after the last meeting. On the streets, we did a lot of drain cleaning, had to clean some ditches. With all the, we did have, doesn't seem like it right now, but we did have quite a bit of rain in a short period, like 4 inches in a couple storms there. We've been doing quite a bit of tree trimming. We've had a lot of work going on where big tickets are getting called in, which is good to see that people are at least getting things marked out before they're, not everybody, but a lot of people. Other than that, mowing and trimming, the grass has been, grass and weeds have been growing pretty steadily. We started on the bike path. Alan from the town came up and drilled our holes to put the marker posts in, and I wanna thank him for doing that for us. So that's all taken care of, and we're working on ditching along it and repairing where all the washouts were, cause we've got a stretch that's in pretty rough shape. It's gonna take quite a bit of work to take care of that. Other than that, we're gonna be starting here, as soon as we get caught up. Flushing is gonna be, it might be pushed off till the beginning of next week. We were supposed to start this week, but we got a lot of stuff going. And then we gotta get going on getting our roads prepped for paving. That's gonna take a while. I know they were supposed to be starting today. They were supposed to be starting in the town in Chazy, so we missed the boat on the first round. So we'll be at the end, so I don't know. We'll have to see whenever they tell me, but we've got a lot of work to do there, and we're gonna get whatever we can ready, and when they come, we'll do what we have ready.
Which roads are you starting with, Mike?
Well, it all depends. I mean, we've got about 7 roads left. Well, we've got 7 roads left by next year, and it's our 10-year cycle, but, it all depends. I gotta relook at them because some need a lot more work, but my original, was Maple Street, Butternut Street, Maiden Lane's in bad shape. And that was the 3 I was gonna start with, and then we still have Kane Street, which is not wonderful, especially in the winter. I mean, Walnut's gonna be done. We've got Church and Elm, and that's, we have to, by next year, that's our 10-year cycle, and we'll be basically starting over.
Okay.
So, but it depends what I can get ready and how much work, because then you've got ditch work, you've got culvert work that goes along with that,
Yeah.
so, we'll see, I guess we'll see what we have for time. I wanna start on Maple, because I got a culvert I gotta do at the end, across the gas line, and I've got a bunch of culvert work to do right there too, that we got a ditch that,
Yeah.
really deep, that we're going to, fill part of that, because that's been an issue. Went up a few times there with the sidewalk machine, and it's deep. So, we're just gonna do what we can, in between, and hopefully, once the flushing's done, flushing's gonna take us a few weeks, so we probably won't be starting till, we'll probably won't be starting on getting water at the beginning of August at the time, so. We'll see as the time matches, we'll just start on one road and get it done and move on from there.
Yeah.
I mean, if we can't get, depending if we don't have the prep, I may have to switch to a different street that has less work. Whether it be Elm or Church, get some manholes to fix, but where I don't have as much ditch work
Yeah.
and other work, just depending how it, I gotta see if it goes along with the county,
Yeah.
how their schedule runs, because.
You never even know really
No,
when
and
they're
it's
coming.
hard, because they work, 4 10-hour days or whatever, but the weather plays a big part. And it depends on other municipalities when they're pulling asphalt, so it's, there's a lot of variables.
Okay.
Is
Well,
there
thanks.
anything we could do to help? Is there anything that you could think of that?
Not really. I mean, something we do need to think about is that, what we're gonna do with the bike path. I mean, I got a lot of work there for the ditching and, stone work to do, but we need to think what we're gonna do for, I mean, eventually we're gonna have to pay for that. We have to think how we wanna,
Well, we have $4,000 from the county that we have to use, but that's a drop in the bucket.
that's not even gonna cover the paver.
But we do need to use it, so the village is
Well-
gonna have to commit
Well, we maybe,
something to it.
well, we can use it for a stone, for fixing the trail before we
I
pave.
think any part of it, it's just part of the
I measured it
maintenance.
up, and, you're just guessing, we need about, at 2 inches, I think we need 330 tons of asphalt to do the strip. I measured it out, so you're looking at, depending on, the asphalt price changes with fuel, but
Yeah,
just in asphalt, you're looking at probably, 16,000, somewhere around there. Just guessing. And that's no manpower, no hauling, no paving, no paver, no roller, no prevailing wage and men, none of that, so it's gonna be,
So to really do it, you're talking about 30,000 or more.
probably.
Okay,
So, we'll do what we can, I gotta get the ditching done,
yeah,
and I gotta get the stone repaired. Now we gotta do rental roller, whatever we gotta do, and
Yeah.
we'll have to use the money that we have so we don't lose it.
that's right,
Getting it repaired, if I can get those ditches in, at least it'll pull that water away,
yeah,
that's a big part of it,
yeah,
so,
definitely. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
that's all I have.
Thanks for all the work. Oh, you guys work really hard, I see it every day. So, tell them that we really
Pass it on.
appreciate it.
You mentioned something to do with coordinating with the county, that you need some sort of information from them. when
They do our paving,
Okay,
so, whatever their schedule, however we fall, they try to get, like, up here north, done all at the same time, like they're doing the town and they're do Shazy, they try to get it done, so they're not traveling, and they were supposed to start today up in this area, and I think they might be behind a little bit, but our roads aren't ready, so we'll have to be at the end, when they get everybody else done, we'll be at the end, which is usually like just before the plant closes, like October, typically. But they do our paving, which, if we hire a paving company, I don't even know what the cost, I heard a quote of 2 men rolling a paper for a day, $5,300 a day. That's just with 2 men. That's not hauling, that's not fuel, that's not, labor, it's not anything. And the county doesn't charge us. We pay for the asphalt. Typically, usually we don't pay anything else. We don't pay for their fuel to haul it, because we can't haul, we don't have tandems. We don't pay the manpower, we don't pay, so if they need help, we go, maybe you'd be flagging for them on where they're paving somewhere else, we may send 1 or 2 guys, and all the other towns send their trucks all summer. So like right now, the town has no trucks, because they're all hauling for the county, because they don't have trucks, because all their trucks are tied up doing other stuff, so, we're fortunate. It benefits the village way more than it benefits some of the others, because we don't have to send guys in trucks, because our trucks aren't big enough, so, the savings by having the county do it is astronomical. And they've been doing it since, I don't even know how long, way before I was here, so you gotta kinda go on their schedule,
Well, yeah, and you work really closely with them, so,
yeah.
yeah, it's a good relationship.
I'm working on some other avenues, to see if we can get somebody else, maybe another municipality, or see if we can work something, what it would take to have somebody else come to pave, even if we had to hire trucks, what it would, for a bike path, just to see, even if it can't be done this year, maybe we can line it up for
Yeah.
next year. But it's a tough, especially with the fuel and everywhere,
Yeah,
everything's so much more than it was a year ago. And we don't know after this year, I think our asphalt price was kind of locked in, changes a little with fuel, but I think this is the last year of our contract. So the next was 2 years, the next contract, it may be, a lot higher.
yeah, probably will be.
Crystal ball, we need crystal ball.
You can't
So-
look into the future.
Try, it's going up,
Oh, thanks for that information.
everything is going up.
Yeah, true. All right, thanks, Mike.
You got it.
Correspondence?
Request for wastewater credit from Richard Glad at 1 Faneuil Lane. Correspondence from code officer to Ron Donahue at 22 Maiden Lane regarding property maintenance. Correspondence from codes officer to Daniel Labarge, 11191 Route 9 regarding trash. Request for wastewater credit from Valerie Daniels at 28 Locust Street. Notice of violation for 11167 Route 9 property.
And then I would add, I think I included this to everybody's, the letter to the board from Chris Matot also.
Yes.
It's stuck in your boxes. And that's the situation that Chuck was referring to that happened on Friday. New business, first we have a wastewater credit to consider from Richard Glad at 1 Filion Lane.
So he had a break, I don't know if it's on.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got a call, they had a water leaking on the back side of the place, on an evening I went over. something called a dig safe. He started digging, and it ended up, it was a service line between the water, the meter pit and their place. It was broke somewhere underneath, because it went underneath the place and then came up. So they ended up digging and putting a whole new, it all leaked into the ground, it was running out the hill in the back, so they ended up having to dig and put a brand new water service from the meter to the house, so none of it did enter the wastewater system. I can tell you that 100% for sure.
Okay, so may I have a motion to authorize the sewer credit?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Any other discussion or questions? No? Roll call?
Trustee Trombley.
Aye.
Trustee Malinsky.
Aye.
Trustee Connor.
Aye.
Trustee Herzog.
Aye.
Mayor McFetrich.
Aye. And we have another wastewater credit to Valerie Daniels at 28 Locust Street.
And that one, that's a rental, the people that were there moved out. The boiler froze up, split all the lines inside, and all the water ran to the basement. And there is a sump pump line that's, and I do have pictures actually on my phone, but there's a sump pump line that's pumped right outside of the ground. You can see where it dug the hole, it was running. So there was, they came back, I forgot how many days later, it must be to get stuff, and they realized it, and they ended up shutting the water off, but there was nobody living there, so that whole usage was all from that, flooded the place, their boiler. And they're in the process of renovation now, and trying to fix the place.
Wow.
So that one was, that one did not enter our sewer system either.
May I have a motion to approve this sewer credit?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Any other discussion or questions? Roll call?
Trustee Trombley.
Aye.
Trustee Malinsky.
Aye.
Trustee Connor.
Aye.
Trustee Herzog.
Aye.
Mayor McFetrich.
Aye. Village Fest. We traditionally bill this as an ice cream social. So I think we're set on getting the ice cream and renting a tent and some table and chairs. Is that accurate?
Well, right, I've requested the ice cream from Stewart's, and I applied for the food operation permit in the county. We don't have anything set up as far as tents and chairs yet. Or if we wanna do the same as we did in the past, same four tables, 40 chairs, and 20-25 tent, that's what we've done in the past.
Is that tent too big or big enough, or, I know.
If it's raining, it's,
Yeah.
it seemed like it was big enough. It was
Yeah.
enough to-
All right, so let's do, does the board agree? We'll go with the same size tent and chairs and tables.
Okay, we used tents at Champlain last year, so I can get ahold of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. We've done a bouncy house before. I don't know if that's something we wanna do again.
Where did we do that?
Oh gosh, you called somebody.
Someone new.
See, we're talking about pre-pandemic, so it's hard to remember.
Yeah, it was a
It
couple
was
of years
Probably
ago.
the, was it the insurance company?
Was it Woodman?
Yeah, I think it might have been.
See, they're not even, they don't even have a
No, they don't.
representative or
No.
anything here
No,
anymore.
but
It's
they
so
don't?
sad. No.
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 Well, does the board want us to go ahead and try to
No, this is
locate,
Mass Mutual.
try to get one?
Slip and slide.
Yeah.
Way too dangerous. I don't think our liability covers that.
The, yeah, they just the, office room.
So what do you think? Try to find one?
I can check, I'll check and see where we got
I
it.
mean, there was an individual, cause I remembered
Yeah.
working with that woman who came and set it up.
Yeah, she came herself,
Yeah, I just don't remember who it was, but,
I'll check it.
I can also ask my
There-
mother-in-law,
what?
because I think she's had
Nikki's
bouncy houses
involved in the
before.
fun
Sure.
run
I'll
and
ask
getting
her.
that set up.
okay, so, no, yeah, so I'm doing the fun run, but now there's the 5K. But now, there's talk about postponing that until maybe the fall and doing a different kind of event, like a color run or I don't know, one of those crazy ones with, Halloween costumes or a donut run or one of those other type things. Because there's so much going on that weekend of the Village Fest. It's the garage sale and
Yeah.
it's the telephone thing and it's hours. And the attendance hasn't been that great at that 5K over the past few years. So what's the board think? Because it's not, I can set it up easily. But do you think it might be better to have a separate event later in the fall?
That's a good idea. Halloween,
That would be,
Cooler.
cooler.
It would be cooler.
Yeah, definitely cooler.
we can use the rec trail, which is what we really wanna promote,
Yeah, it'd be fun.
okay?
Halloween themed,
Yeah,
Yeah, early October.
yeah, I think that would really be, I think that would be fun,
Perfect.
all right.
That's good.
So we're gonna postpone the 5K race till the fall.
Yes,
Now, Nikki, you talked about a petting zoo or a,
yes.
so what are you thinking?
I got my feelers out, I gotta contact Julia again. But just someone who might have a couple little goats and rabbits and, I don't know, just bring them down and let the kids visit with them. You don't often see goats unless you're on a farm. But when we had our first Village Fest, we had a pony or a horse and they gave
Mhm.
pony rides, yeah.
That was from
So-
Ghoulies.
It was Cooley's, yeah. And it was nice.
Yeah.
And I did contact the Four Winds Farm, but she's out of town for the Malone Fair, so, but she would definitely do it if she was able to.
What about Tess?
Great idea. Yeah, I'll check into Tess, I haven't done that yet, and yeah, Hollister Farm, I can check to her too, yeah,
I don't
because
know if
does-
she travels. I know she does a lot of
Yeah.
parties and stuff at her
Yeah.
farm, but that's another one that has,
Yes, okay. So, well, Julia's part of 4-H too. She's,
Perfect.
yeah, from Oak Tree, and she'll be out of town, so she can't bring her ponies out, or her ones out that day, but, yeah, we'll get in contact here with a
Sure,
couple
Sherry
ideas.
might be interested in that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I forgot about her.
Just when you were saying that,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Tess and Hester, yeah.
And then we normally invite, different branches of law enforcement, the Border Patrol, State Police, EMS, Fire Department, to come bring a vehicle. Do we wanna go ahead and do that?
Sure, yeah, I think, yeah,
especially when they bring the helicopter, the border
I
patrol.
know.
Kids
I know.
love, well, I find it fascinating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too, yeah.
Kids love it.
Okay. And then we could have other organizations, I don't know if the library is interested
I
or,
believe it's on the agenda for this month's meeting, the library, to discuss, coming or volunteering, to set up a table. And the Living Baptist Church wanted to set up a little booth too.
oh yes, they did come one time.
Yeah.
And then maybe Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts or Kiwanis or, I don't know, would Catholic Daughters come or?
I have no idea. I, since I'm not regent or an officer at all anymore, I've kinda,
Well, you do have a few other
I-
things going on.
kind of backed away a little bit. I shy
Or-
away.
I could
Would the
contact.
KFC maybe set up a
I
table or?
don't know, I'll see Bruce probably Friday, maybe I can ask him.
I'll ask the new officers of Booster Club too.
Yes, I had a Booster Club on my
And
list
to
too.
tie in with, like, the village garden and stuff, what about the 4-H doing some kind of setup? Maybe
Yeah.
you could have someone talk to the kids about, you know, what they do.
Or the Master Gardener program.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Master gardener program, I would love to be a master gardener. I mean,
So-
my neighbor's garden, I don't think he's a master gardener, but boy, I tell you, I look at his garden and it puts me to shame. But he constantly works in his
Yeah.
garden as well, but it's like beautiful.
But maybe we could have some little demonstrations or something.
I did message the History Center, but they haven't got back to me, so just
Oh,
give them
yes,
a heads
that's
up,
right.
because in the past they have had the opening up, the doors open that day, so.
Yeah.
Now, the hours are 12 to 3, or is it
Yeah.
gonna be longer if we have all this other stuff going
No,
on?
because people kinda just walk through, they get their ice cream, they'll stop at the different tables, learn more about it.
Mhm.
I think 12 to 3 still works. History Center. Let's see, what else did I write down? That's all I wrote down, but do you have any other ideas? We sometimes have some little games.
Yes. You can get the volleyball net up.
I don't know if that's gonna happen.
We have the horseshoe pit.
But if you have all these different, like if you do get like 4-H and you get one of either Hollisters or the other person that you're talking about, you might have enough activities going on with things like that.
Yeah.
We could set up a cornhole thing
Oh,
or
it's
something.
Well, that's,
you know,
yeah,
Cornhole,
something,
yeah.
something
like
that's
that.
easy.
The horseshoe
Cornhole
pits are
tournament.
down there and,
Cornhole tournament. Team of two.
yeah, or even if we just set it up down there and just
Yeah.
kind of a pickup
Yeah.
game or
Mhm.
something.
We have a few
There is
long
somebody who's
games.
interested in organizing a tournament, though, I'll talk to you about that
Good.
later. Yeah, I just got that message this morning.
Well,
That is such a huge game right now. It's
I
just,
know,
that-
it's around here too, it's huge.
another thing that is, like cornhole, which is, that's super, simple, is that ladder golf.
Mhm.
That's a super simple thing to,
You mean the 3 layers where you throw,
Mhm.
oh, I love that.
Ladder ball.
yeah, that's
Ladder
another,
ball.
Why don't you do something with this golf course?
Yeah,
Try to get
it's
that
here.
spent here, and nobody
I
uses
saw
it.
somebody use it the
Where
other
is
day.
that?
Yes.
Yeah, see, doesn't even know it's here.
We have a nine hole
Yeah.
disc golf course right between the community garden and the end of River Street. It even has markers telling
Yeah,
the par and the,
Yeah, those are nice.
and the
Wow.
really nice.
Recently
It
got
only
put
took us 9 years to
I knew a
do
guy
that.
who was a professional player, and I mean, he taught me about it, I never even knew that it was a thing, but it's real.
Well, maybe
Oh,
this
yeah.
weekend you can go play.
Actually, I don't know if you can do it that weekend, cause you're shooting across.
Yeah, I
You
don't
can't
think you
do
could.
it, because you're shooting across where the tent stuff's gonna be, there's gonna be too many people, someone
Yeah.
gonna get.
Well, the way I
Somebody
throw,
out.
I would
Yeah.
definitely be hitting everyone.
But that can be something on a weekend or something for the summer, like the kids' activities,
Yeah.
maybe,
mm-hmm,
Yeah,
just to try to get people.
definitely, to get people interested,
people
or to
that-
get people to even know about
Set
it.
Yeah.
something up
Well,
for
I
that.
can, yeah, I never even knew that was a thing, do we have like a,
We have first base.
We have a few of the discs
is
upstairs.
it just like a show up and play kind of thing, bring
Yeah.
your own?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I
it's
think
pretty
when
cool,
it
you have to be
first-
kinda good because some of the baskets are by the river,
Mhm.
a little dangerous for me.
Yeah, who was it that showed how to play when we first set it up?
Kyle Siebert and James
James.
Lapierre,
Yes, okay.
yeah.
Big-
A couple of guys that walked us
Yeah,
through.
you could do a free throw contest, a free throw contest, you got a basketball, maybe.
Yeah, yeah,
mm-hmm.
yeah, those are all good ideas.
you can have a day of it, I guess, if you wanna have different things going on, you know,
Mhm.
something another day.
Yeah,
Like
Just
those,
another
like
day.
those days,
Well, I
when
mean,
you
yeah,
play
like
shovels.
cornhole would be fun, cause you
Yeah.
can have kids and older people on the same team, you can have all kinds of people.
And you don't need a lot of space,
Yeah, you don't
it's
need-
not where somebody's gonna get hit,
right,
like I can't throw a frisbee to save my life, but that'd be the time I hit somebody, like you said. But the cornhole, I mean, that's easy,
Yeah.
doesn't take a lot of space, nobody's gonna get hurt if they get hit with a beanbag.
yeah, we could just have another day with those games.
We do like a Village Olympics or something, you know, you
Yeah.
can have all kinds of lawn games,
Yeah,
you know.
that's a fun idea.
Yeah,
Bocce ball,
Egg
that's, you know,
carries.
with things like that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, you would know, what are some of the older games, the sack races?
Cool.
Three-leg race.
He was pointing at you, Jen, not me.
I think he's specifically asking you.
Oh, we did those when I was a kid, but I can't think,
Yes, you
I
did, at your
doubt that-
field days, I'm
Oh,
sure
we
you
did,
did
we,
that.
well, Lake Lear and.
When you were in elementary school, maybe.
Yeah,
That was too long to remember.
A couple years
That's
ago.
funny.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, but we could do lawn games. I've got a big Jenga set, that's fun.
I have lawn
You know,
darts.
with-
yeah,
two
yeah,
by
big
fours.
blocks,
You do?
yeah.
Yeah.
You have
Very
that?
cool.
And I think Nikki
John
said she's got a
Loxley,
Connect
that's
Four,
I have a Connect
Oh.
Four.
a big lawn
I have
Connect
a little
Four.
washer.
We could do like a scavenger hunt type thing, like,
Oh, I've done that
Yeah.
before too.
Mhm.
yeah, leave little clues, like.
So that'll be a separate event, right? We're not gonna put this on
No,
the
Yeah, no,
village
no,
fest.
you
No, no.
can't do
Can't do
all
all
that
that.
one time.
Okay, I like that idea. Let's see. Anything else on Village Fest?
We'll all be there, right?
Yes.
No, I think Kim's out of town.
It's the only time we could get together with our families from Syracuse. We tried and we tried and we tried and it's like,
The date and time for everybody,
It's the,
and me,
Sure.
the date and time.
so it's what?
August 13th.
It's August 13th, Saturday, August 13th, noon to 3, but I would say come a little early and help us set up.
They're gonna be in the paper.
Yes.
I'm sure the Board of Health will be here to visit as well.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they will. All right, the age-friendly community application through AARP. The way this came about is, the decision to try to get the comprehensive plan with the town and the village. We're working with some, consultants that we've worked with before here. And when she was writing the application, she sent me an email and she said, by the way, are you an age-friendly community? Have you been designated with that? And I said, what's that? And she told me about it, so I read about it, and she said it's to our advantage to get that designation because it's one of the boxes that you check on some grant applications. So it gives us a few points. Plus, in reading about it, it sounded like a good thing. Yeah, good thing anyway. So basically what it is it encourages communities to make changes to make the community more livable for all ages, but especially for senior citizens. It's to advance efforts to help people stay in their homes as long as they can, and to raise awareness, and maybe change public policy or expand services, or maybe offer discounts to people from local businesses. But before I went through the whole application process, I wanted to make sure that the board felt it was worth doing it.
Absolutely.
It's free, there's an application, we would pass a resolution next month, and then I have to write a letter supporting that. And then you submit it, and then it goes for approval. And then we go on a map, and we get some publicity, I guess, as an age-friendly community. So is everyone on board?
Sure.
No pun intended, board.
I like the fact that if you do get that status, that it will help on grant applications. That's huge.
I know, I had no idea.
That's huge.
When Monica asked, I'm like, I don't even know what this is, and she said it does help.
That's good.
Okay, all right, so we'll revisit it next month with the resolution. For the job posting, we have, Woody Kissel is retiring in the fall, and we will be posting his job soon. Now, I can never remember what he currently is labeled, Mike, what was, you tell me, MEO?
MEO, yeah, maintenance and equipment operator, same as everybody.
Okay, so maintenance equipment operator.
MEO is what the, MEO one is what the general, that's like a general,
Laborer type,
yeah,
okay.
I
So
would like to do everything.
yeah, so he's currently that position is currently labeled that way, and Woody gave you a little bit of the history of how that came about. But in talking to civil service at the county, they sent me a generic description of a water and wastewater treatment plant operator and suggested that that's really what it should be labeled. We'll have to make it specific to this job. And then we can also add other duties, there's a fly bothering me. Other duties as assigned by the superintendent, because this person does spend some time on the streets or as needed, or, can you address that a little bit, Mike? Some of the other,
Yeah, I mean, whatever, we're so diverse here, we don't have all different departments, so whatever we need to do, I mean, whether it be paving, whether it be a water break, whether it be, you know what I mean, whatever it is. I mean, basically, right now, Woody does our water and wastewater plant, and then everything else, we take care of. I mean, we call them, we have a water break, need flaggers or whatever, but even some of the stuff there, I mean, he can't do it by himself, so we have to do help on that end of it too, whatever he needs, so. But our regular, I mean, maintenance and equipment operators basically covers you know, everything. So, we're so diverse here. because we-
Well, we're
we
so
have
small.
We have so much, I mean,
They need to be.
big municipalities, you know, they have their own wastewater, they have their own water, they have their own, I mean, everything is divided, they have, each have their own, but we have to take care of whatever needs to be taken care of. Whatever fires the house, we have to try to put it out,
Yeah.
so.
So the concern would be if we had someone who was just water and wastewater, that person would probably say, that's not my responsibility, and we wanna make sure that we write that part into the description.
Yeah, make sure they can be, you know, to help with whatever,
And then, did you mention, driving today to me too, or wait?
that's
did
part
you-
of the motor equipment operator, that's part of
Okay.
the, you know, they, get so long, whenever they get their CDL, so
Mhm.
that way, we got whatever it may be, with trucks, or they can do that as well. I think you should, you can tailor it to water and wastewater, but it's still, I don't think it should be just water and wastewater, you know, if we need help, it should fall under needs of business, I mean,
Yeah, yeah, everyone has to be as versatile as possible, just because the
Yeah.
crew is so small.
it's just hard because they're a union shop, so if it's tailored just to one thing, you know, then well, I can only do this one thing, but it has to be
Yeah,
a broad spectrum.
so we'll be working on getting this description worded appropriately. Hope to advertise, I'd say the end of July, and then do the interviews in August, and with great luck, hire someone by September, so he or she can work along with Woody before he leaves. But we do know that this is a huge challenge, and we will have trouble finding someone.
Yeah, typically, to even take your wastewater license, you gotta work at the plant for a year and a half. So it's gonna be, if we can't find anybody that's licensed, we're gonna be struggling for a while, and that's with what we have as the plant stands right now. With the upgrades we're doing, we gotta go to the next higher class license,
Yeah,
so, I mean, you can't change it, it's set by the state, and,
that's right.
so, yeah, it's gonna be a challenge, and we're not the only, there's other places looking too, so it makes it hard.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and they tend to jump from municipality to municipality.
Will we be given an opportunity to look at the job description?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, this,
Just in
yeah.
case we happen to think
No,
of
I would,
something.
yeah, probably what I'll do is, Mike and I and Woody will work on the first draft, I'll send it out to everybody.
Sounds good.
And then we'll just continue to work on it until we feel we've got it within, I'd say, maybe a couple of weeks. If that's okay with everyone.
No.
All right. Okay, let's see, under old business, the subdivision of land, I think that can just be tabled, there's no other information about that right now. I don't even know if this person who asked about it is still interested, haven't heard anything. Dog control. We were going to wait and see what the town had to say on this, and I didn't hear anything from the town. But Joel, you weren't at the last meeting, and you said that was one of your interests, so.
Yeah, I was just wanting to, well, one, I wanted to hear what the community thought, and then also what the general thought was among the board. I looked at the law, and I don't know whether or not it's necessarily a gray area, or it's just something that's never been discussed. I mean, I guess technically by law, it's not a gray area, and that the invisible fences are not legal. They're not a leash, they're not connected to a leash, the leash isn't connected to a pole, or whatever the language in the law was. I think it was, you know, couldn't be longer than 8 feet or something like that.
Mhm.
So, you know, by definition, I think now they're not legal because it's not tying them to anything. I mean, I could be wrong in how I interpret that, but that's what it seemed like. You know, how the village wants to look at that, whether or not those should be allowed in a front lawn, or if they're allowed at all within the village. I don't know, it's hard to say, or just a backyard, but then it's kind of difficult some people don't have backyards, so that's kind of a pick and choose type situation, but,
I'm sure those codes were written before the electric
oh, yeah.
fence idea was even invented.
I think it's, I wanna say there was a date on the language, and I think it was something like 83 or 85, 84, so yeah, I mean, that's,
And then we contract through the town actually handles dog control. So we need to be on the same page as the town, I think.
Yeah.
You don't want a dog control officer having to do different things with different municipalities, and, we're all basically one. So I don't really know how the town felt about it when they discussed it at their last meeting. But I agree, I mean, it's so outdated, we probably have to do something.
you know, I think of those invisible fencing, and I think like in a more rural environment, then those are probably applicable, you know, if you have a lot more space and you're kind of in a maybe not a wooded area, but an already enclosed area, then it seems to be okay, but when you're talking about like, I mean, this isn't New York City, it's not that urban, but it's streetscape, there are people walking by in publicly right in front of the house, and if there are dogs that are, you know, too excited or aggressive or whatever it might be, then, you know, that can certainly be a problem, and if it's not enough to deter them from getting out, then that's a problem, and then again, by law, by definition, if they're out and they're unattended, that means it's a dog, you know, I can't remember the language, at large or something of that sort, so.
But I thought when she came in that she had reviewed some other laws. And I don't know if we had looked at the town law, but I believe invisible fences are now considered a containment issue.
Probably by New York State law, because I believe this falls under agriculture?
Yes,
Yes.
which I would not have thought that that's where it fell. I don't know where I thought it should fall, but I believe they are now considered a means of containment. I've seen my dogs get zapped by our invisible fence, and it's not pretty,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they don't do it again.
Yeah,
But very seldom is my dog left outside, other than she doesn't wanna be in when I'm doing something she doesn't like. And she'll hang out outside, but other than that, you know, I don't tend to leave my dog outside unattended very long. But, you know, more and more people have the invisible fence because it gives the dog the freedom to do and go around the yard, within a certain boundary. I personally am a proponent of invisible fence. I can't stand to see a dog tied. Cause a lot of dogs end up getting tied where there's no shade. They end up not having a water bowl. I can't stand seeing a tethered dog. But then again, that's just me.
Yeah, well, I think we have to look at the state law, and then we also need to talk to the town and see what they're considering.
And they are meeting tomorrow
They're
night,
meeting
so.
tomorrow. But you bring up some good points, and I do walk my dog a lot, and there are some places that I don't go because there are dogs that.
yeah, I'm not even necessarily against invisible fencing at all, really, I don't have any problem with it as long as it works. It's more of just, I was looking at what we had on the books is what we defined as, you know, valid, I don't know, containment.
And again, with any dog, whether you have invisible fencing, and I said this last month when that Jewett, is that what her name is?
Jennifer.
When she was here, how your dog behaves in your yard goes back to training,
Yeah.
you know?
But I'm quite sure we need to update this. I mean, 1984, there have been just,
Oh my gosh.
Too many
some-
changes.
oh, yeah.
yeah,
Like invisible fence,
yeah.
should be in here, maybe we, you know, steal shamelessly from the New York State law. I mean,
She had
that should be,
Albany City law.
you know, that should be pretty easy to look at.
Well, why don't I reach out to Tom Trombley and find out what the town is considering, and then we can maybe work together on something and bring it back to this board and see how we feel about it.
And I think she attended their board meeting last
Yeah,
week.
I think she did, that was her intention, I know, yeah. Okay. All right. Anything else on dog control?
And this is a separate, well, related but separate, but if, you know, we make changes to that, who would be the one that would be, would it be, code enforcement that would be looking at those things,
Yeah.
or would it be?
But,
Okay,
I mean,
you know,
in terms of who,
Yeah,
well,
for
Who
example, we.
enforces it?
Yes,
Well, the dog
who's gonna
control-
be watching it, who's gonna be monitoring it, you know, it's
well,
not
the
gonna
dog
be.
control officer is the one that would
Okay.
would be enforcing it,
Okay.
but it is in our codes, yeah.
But we wouldn't be calling the codes officer.
No,
Right.
no, the dog enforcement officer is the one that would be enforcing it. Water tank maintenance contract, it's still at our lawyers. I did speak to him last week, but he hadn't finished reading through it, so I'll give him a call tomorrow and ask where we are on that.
It was pretty straightforward.
What?
I said it was pretty straightforward.
Well, I thought it was too, but, you know, sometimes they see things that I don't see, and so I just wanna make sure that, you know, he has looked at it carefully enough. So I'll let you know. I mean, if he's making no recommendations, I would assume the board is okay with it being signed then.
I mean,
Yes.
yeah, I mean, there was nothing in there that was really,
No.
it was very black and white.
Yeah, I thought so, right. Okay. Is there any other business to come before the board?
Playground equipment,
You know what?
playground equipment.
Well, we're in kind of a dilemma with that playground equipment. So we don't have the installation guidelines for that equipment. I think we got one, Nikki might remember this, we got one plastic packet and we didn't get the other one. And I brought it back to the office and I can't find it. So Mike had reached out to a business to see if they could do the installation, but right now, we can't even give them specifics because we don't even know exactly what's needed in terms of the installation part of it.
I called the company we bought it from, and they still haven't got back to me.
And yes,
Left two different numbers, left messages, haven't called me, and nobody's returned the call.
and I've emailed them and no one has returned my email. So I don't know if it's something we can figure out on our own, just because you guys are so good at that stuff.
Let them know I'm not committee.
Or not, I really don't know.
I don't know what that
So what's the, yeah, is there a brand?
is. Yeah, ABC, and I got a hold of the company, but nobody gets back a
Is
hold
there
of me.
nothing online
No,
about
yeah.
that specific?
Yeah, a lot of times you can get manuals
I
online,
couldn't, I
no?
couldn't find it.
No,
You get a
No, I
PDF of
Googled
the-
it by name, instructions,
I've
directions.
been told I'm looking at buying some equipment to call me.
They still
Still
didn't
haven't
call.
called me. You know, I figured,
no, it's typical nowadays.
Oh, you find that with every business,
Oh, yeah.
that's like pandemic slowed
Mhm.
everything, everybody down.
Yeah. So that's where we're at. We're kind of stuck right now because we need those directions before we can. But I think the goal is to hire someone, an outsider, to put it in because there's just not enough
we've
time.
got timbers, we've got chips.
Yeah, we're really ready to go, but we don't know about, you know, concrete to put it in.
Well, if we got I asked somebody to give me a price, well, what does it entail? Well, I don't know, I just need to know, I can't get, it's hard when you can't tell them exactly what they need.
Right.
They give you, you know what I mean? Yeah, they can give me a ballpark, but I don't even know what we need, how much concrete, how big the base gonna be to hold the equipment, I don't know.
Mhm.
So I don't know, I can just keep calling every day, keep calling them, I guess.
Maybe
But
there's
you get a
another
voicemail, I mean, you get a,
I wonder if there's another company that sells that same,
Yeah, I was thinking.
Piece.
maybe,
if you knew
was it
exactly.
Amy that originally,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
You could look
You
up
still
the
got her number?
invoice for it and see
Yep.
exactly what
Call her.
the name of the equipment is, we can.
I've got the
It's
name
bad
of
when
the
they're
equipment,
selling.
but I don't know if I have it. Maybe it's just called that regardless of
Send
who
it to
sells
me
it.
and I'll see what I can find.
Okay. So that's where we are on that. anything else? Motion to adjourn,
So moved.
second,
Second.
all in favor?
We say let's go.
I'm
Aye.
Aye.
Everyone voting?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.